from education to health to wellness to even issues on social justice. We not only talk about issues, but it's a space and forum where issues meet solutions. Welcome to the living room. Who's your Who's Who Community Leader of the Week? SupaNova, Dream Director of the Future Project at Malcolm X Shabazz High School. Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
Good.
Salute.
So what attracted you to the Future Project?
I have quite a few good friends that are involved with the Future Project that I knew from years ago. Two people being Divine Bradley, who is actually the Chief Dream Director of Newark, the city of Newark, and Sister Salome, she's the Chief Dream Director for New York. And I knew them for many years. Prior to them coming into the Future Project, they were all doing some form of community work with young people. And Salome for years was always talking about what would the vision be like of having motivational tools through young adults to inspire young people in school. Like what if each young person had like their own personal motivational speaker, a motivator in the schools, and how would that change the environment in the schools? So she was talking about that for years, and then as time went on and she got down to the Future Project, it made sense because they had a similar vision. And then Divine Bradley, he's been a heavy hitter in social change with young people since the 90s, since I knew him since the 90s. And so they've just been knowing of the various works that I've been doing in the community. And at the time when they pitched the introduction for me to come in, I was just coming in out of active duty military service. So it made sense. I was already in spirit of service. So coming here and continuing to work in the schools is just an extension of what I've been doing. So.
Describe some of the work you were doing, let's say, in the community before coming to the Future Project and how you bridged both. Okay,
I have an organization that's almost 20 years old called Unify the Hood, Heal the Hood. The Unify the Hood aspect was a remedy-based situation dealing with brothers and sisters in the street tribe community, the gang bang community, Crips, Bloods, folks, people, and being a mediator and setting up mediating situations to tap into the big brothers and sisters in those organizations known as OGs that are offering more tools than destructive. And so I've been part of that network for many years and done many works throughout the New York area, New Jersey, and across the country with that. So I've been known for that work. The Heal the Hood aspect is I'm a holistic coach. I'm a published author, wrote a book called The Remedy. And I've been doing various forms of holistic health and exercise work, bridging young people into that same conversation. So one form or the other, the work has been illustrated since the 90s up until now that I've been doing that. And many people have been in tune with me from those efforts. Okay.
As Dream Director here, were you able to bridge the holistic work that you've done, in the community here in Malcolm Shabazz, and how so? Okay,
yes. One of the things that happened when I first got here is that the young people always talked about they were always hungry. And I'm like, why are you all hungry? You have breakfast here, you have lunch. So most of them don't like the way the lunch is set up, and so they'll starve themselves. And then you find out most of them trying to hear early in the morning before, they get locked out, and they don't even nourish themselves in the morning. So they're always coming inside the room, you got a snack, you got some water, you got something, all day, every day. So being from the holistic background, I wanted to be proactive with it, and I was like, you know what, let me get some tools inside the office, basic stuff, a Ninja blender, a juicer, and just on my own accord, I would just bring in various things and just start having additional juices available for them when they would come inside their periods and wanting something. Another thing that I was able to introduce to them was I have a formula called the Super Mega Greens. It's a wellness supplement. It's a superfood, and pretty much it feeds the cells. And so I felt that it would be really good to introduce that to them because they're going through class and most of them into sports. And so all day, if they're not nourished, there's not enough oxygen going to the brain. They start to fall asleep. They start being distracted. So at least I wanted to introduce that to them. And because I did introduce that to them in a really way that they were able to receive it, we created this situation called the Shabazz Juice Crew. So we had like about 12 young people stepped up, and I showed them how to do basic juicing and juice mixing and stuff, and adding the wellness mega green formula to it, and then had them start to serve the students during lunch periods, you know, and they've been doing that, and other students in the building started getting excited about that. Then I did a tour in the building called Wellness Salute, where I would partner with the head of the sports department and go into the health and science classes and just do basics introduction seminars on health and wellness, show documentaries, have a Q&A, find out what they're eating, and kind of seeing, you know, sharing benefits of greens, benefits of fruits and vegetables, and kind of getting the discussion on that. And that culture and that you know, that those tools allow the students to be receptive and get excited about it. So I've been doing that since I got here.
Wow,
yeah.
that sounds great. That really does. And you touched upon something really important. A student can't be fully engaged in learning if they're not nourished. And you got to nourish the body, the brain, everything, right, in order to absorb any type of education.
Yes. So. Even being a dream director, our role here is pretty much to help to manage the passions and dreams and unlock in these young people, you know. And so when we organize them and we call the dream teams, you know, with other young leaders in the building, and we're helping to launch projects and initiatives in the school to make the school a better environment, they have to be nourished, you know, not only mentally and spiritually, but they have to be nourished on the base to just even be alert to tap into the things that they need to be doing to open up them skills, you know. So it's all connected.
Right.
Yeah.
So in your time here, being a dream director, how would you say the school in itself has transformed?
I felt that me being here for the first year in the Shabazz, Devon already opened up a great year last year being here with the team. And I feel that me being here, continuing the legacy and adding on my component, you know, very high energy, very motivating spirit that I bring, and also the wellness component. I just feel that the spirit has risen. And the senior class, you know, they're excited. We're sending them forth in the next, you know, octave in their life to turn up. And then I feel the underclassmen are really starting to gravitate towards the principles that the Future Project is bringing. The overall environment has risen. You know, our young people in these schools, especially in Newark, New Jersey, are marred by various challenges, you know, in their home lives and in the community. Just the African American community and with the state of young people is very violent. Even in an environment where law enforcement is the issue, and abuse of power through that. One of the main issues in between that and after that and before that is how we treat each other, you know. And so the gang bang lifestyle, the hating on each other lifestyle, the dope, all of that's very prevalent in our communities, and it spills over into our schools. So when you talk about, you know, being a dream director, you have to navigate through that. You know, every day you sit with a young person, you have to begin to reset that frequency, because you're resetting them, and then you're sending them back into that environment every day. So, you know, starting out this work through the year, we had quite a few casualties. You know, we had young people get hurt, we had young people leave school, we had young people come in and out. You know what I mean? So it's just that has been very hard, you know, dealing, because, you know, you start to care for these young people and you want them to be successful, and you know that they're dealing with an environment that is very toxic. But there's a resilient spirit in a lot of the young people that are being consistent, and just keeping that environment consistent allows those who do come back to have a space to come and continue to do the work. So I feel that it's being very progressive, and I'm looking forward to continuing this work next year and the years to come.
Overall, what would you describe as your most rewarding experience in your role as dream director?
I have a few different high points. One was last year we had this thing in the Future Project called DreamCon, where we helped to prepare our young people to present their ideas around projects they want to produce in the schools to their peers around the country. So in New York, we had opportunity to have all of the dream directors bring their students from around the country to come into New York, and to have panels set up with community members and different board members and folks in the community to hear these young people present their projects. I feel that the kids, not only out of Malcolm X Shabazz High School, but all of our children in Newark showed up really great, you know, and people were really impressed by them, you know, and the ideas that they had. And so that was a very powerful high point to get them, for me, first coming into school, preparing them for that opportunity. And they came off of that opportunity very high and excited to continue to work. So that was a very high point. And also, you know, the first time I was able to put the charge on them to go and now be, you know, the wellness charge for their peers, you know, to go in the lunchroom and set up the juicers and set up the, you know, the wellness stations and have the board breaking down the medicinal purposes of mangoes and apples and waters and different things like that, and kind of really, you know, taking that torch and that effort to wellness. That was a very powerful point. I know right now we're preparing for Malcolm X's birthday coming up next week, so that's going to be a high point just because historically we're in the only public school in the country named after him. So I feel that it's going to be crazily, awesomely amazing because the young people, some of them don't really understand the value of being in the school. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of our young people are preparing to really do a great presentation to their student body during assembly next week to really celebrate him, you know, and I feel that that's going to really empower the young people to know, to be very prideful of where they're at, you know, and that I know is going to be a great high point, okay, you know, so.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you, sis. Okay. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right. Salute.
Next up on The Living Room, Principal Jamar Mills.